Okay, 2024, let's see what you've got for me. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I am going to tell you all about my intentions for next year. If you've seen my content before, I will link last year's video in the description if you're interested. I don't set resolutions or goals. I prefer the word intentions. To me, it feels less pressured and just kind of more comfortable and useful. I feel like if I'm intending to do something and I don't make it, then I won't beat myself up about it for ages afterwards. So that's the word that I use. And yeah, we're just going to chat a little bit about my intentions and my plans for next year. I will be doing a full 2023 wrap-up video where I look at my intentions from last year, or this year as I'm filming, but look at my 2023 intentions and how I've done, and looking at stats and all that kind of stuff. That will be coming in January. I'm filming this in the middle of December, and I just feel like middle of December is a good time to be thinking about what I want to do next year. And we will talk it through. So as usual, I've got my trusty blue notebook. I always get questions about this notebook. It is beautiful. I literally got it on Amazon. When did I start this one? In 2022. So I would have bought it in 2021. It doesn't have a brand name or anything on it, so I can't direct you to it, but it is this beautiful soft blue leather with the copper accents. And this is my book journal, I guess is a bit of a fancy word for it, but I log, this is starting in 2021, I log all of my reads each month in it, and at the back I keep my TBR list, so you can see all the books I read and all the books I have yet to read, and it's just a really good little notebook. I love it. And it's also where I record my end of year stuff and my intentions for the following year. So this is where I'm going to be looking as we're going through. I have 8 intentions for next year. I feel like I said, I'm going to do a full 2023 wrap up that you'll see in January. 2023 has been overall a good year. There's been some rough patches in it. There's been some challenging stuff in it. And next year is going to bring change. We are moving next year. At the time of filming this, a house isn't on the market yet, but it will be going onto the market at the start of next year. And then obviously we will be looking for somewhere to move to. We are downsizing with the goal of reducing our mortgage, because as I'm sure you know, unless you've been living in a cave, there is a cost of living crisis happening here in the UK, and we need to reduce our outgoings. So that means moving. So we will be moving, which is going to be a massive upheaval. We've lived here 9 years. I am someone who gets very deeply rooted in places, so it's going to be challenging. I'm trying to look at it as an adventure, and I'm sure in the long term it will be a positive thing in our lives, and take a massive, or some, hopefully, financial pressure off us, which will be a good thing. But the actual process of it is going to be quite stressful and quite challenging. But like I said, I'm trying to look at it as a positive thing. Well, it will be a positive thing, but more of an exciting adventure rather than a stressful, I don't want to do that kind of thing. So yeah, that's one of the main things that's coming up next year. Next year I will be continuing to teach, is the plan. Charlie will be turning 15 next year. That's weird. We'll also celebrate our 6th wedding anniversary and 12 years together. And we'll see what else happens as we go. So yeah, those are some headline things happening next year, and let's see what I intend to do in the meantime. So I always choose a word of the year as my kind of mantra, I guess, or my focus, and the word that I've chosen for 2024 is authentic. I am not doing anything next year that doesn't feel authentic to me. So I've got hair in my eye, I think, or probably a cat hair, more realistically in this house. Yeah, I am going to make sure that everything that I do next year feels authentic to me, feels like something that is real and that I am getting something out of or putting something into. I want to make sure that I am kind of being my best authentic self. It sounds a bit cliched, I know, but when I was thinking about words for next year, that was the word that kept coming to mind. So that is the word we are going with. And hopefully that will be my kind of guiding thought as we move through 2024. Number 2 is to read 150 books. This is always my GoodReads goal. At the time of filming this, I'm on 151. I will probably finish somewhere around the late 150s. But 150 books I know I can achieve. I've achieved that for the last 3 or 4 years. And I think I like having a reading goal because my little completionist brain enjoys it. But I don't think reading should be stressful. So I'm not someone that's going to say I'm going to read 200 books next year, because realistically I won't reach that goal. And I don't want to be stressed out by something that I enjoy and is my hobby. So I'm sticking at 150 books for my goal for next year, which is 12 and a half a month. That's definitely doable, especially when I have months like August where I'm not working, and I will, I will kind of catch up if I need to. But yeah, that is the reading goal that I've set. I do use GoodReads and StoryGraph. They're always linked in the description if you want to see me there. I don't use it as social media as such. I just use it as a place, both of them as places to log my reading and have a little look at stats and stuff. But if you want to see updates from me, they are always linked in the description. Number 3 is charity fundraising. This is something I'm so passionate about. So this channel has been a charity channel since we became monetized in 2021. In our first year, we raised £300 for Mind, which is something I'm very, very proud of. At the time of filming this, we've raised over £1,000 this year for Book Trust, who were our 2023 charity. So it must have been 2022 that I got monetized, because yeah, we did Mind last year and then Book Trust this year. It's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something I often get like what feels like weird questions about, because people are like, why are you donating that much money to charity? Which I'm also slightly confused by that question. I think for me, being a charity channel kind of takes some of the pressure off Booktube, if that makes any sense. I've seen a lot of my friends who have gone full-time doing Booktube and have then lost the love of it because they are having to think about making money and making income. And I'm not like having a go at anyone that does that. I just think for me, books and reading are a hobby, and Booktube is an extension of that hobby, and I want to enjoy it and keep it as a hobby. Whereas if I start earning money from it, it then becomes a slightly different thing. And this obviously is just for me. Like I said, I'm not commenting on anyone who makes their money from their content. It's a perfectly valid thing to do. But I feel like keeping it separate just makes me enjoy making content more. I don't know if any of that makes sense. Anyway, next year we are going to carry on with being a charity channel. So 100% of my AdSense will go into the charity pot, and at least 50% of any paid content will go in there. This year, I think there was one paid content deal that I had that I kept some of the money, which then went back into the channel because I needed some more new equipment. Other than that, everything is gone in there, but I'm going to say at least 50%. And then 100% of any Etsy sales also goes into that bank account, and then I donate it at the end of each year. Like I said, at the time of filming this, we've raised over £1,000 for Book Trust, which is something I am so proud of and excited about. You'll see the final total in my December wrap-up vlog, and then I'll also probably talk about it in my 2023 wrap-up. And then for next year, I haven't chosen a charity at the time of filming this. I asked on Instagram this week which cause we should go for, because we've done mental health and we've done literacy, which are obviously two things very close to my heart. I thought about doing Cats Protection League, because obviously the cats are very involved in this channel. All 3 of our cats are rescue cats, and it's something that I really care very passionately about. However, you guys are the one that watch my content, and I want you guys to have a say and have a voice on who we are raising money for. Lots and lots and lots of different causes were put forward, but homelessness and food charities came at the top. They were joint first. So if you have any charities, specific charities that you would like us to support around homelessness and around food charities, food banks and stuff, if you could leave them in the comments, leave me a comment with it. I would like it to be UK based, because I'm a UK booktuber. Other than that, I don't really have any parameters. So yeah, if there's any charities that you think we should support, specific charities I'm now asking for, drop me a comment, let me know. I will also be asking over on Instagram, but obviously this is the platform where we make the money. And I want you guys to have some input. So yeah, that is how we're doing it next year. There's going to be one slight change, which is my next intention. So for the charity fundraising for 2024, it'll be 100% of AdSense, 50% of sponsored content, and 100% of the Etsy store. And then the only slight change is this year, in 2023, every time I've read a book, I've added £1 to the charity pot. This year, so this coming year, 2024, I'm still going to be doing that, but I'm going to put it into a separate account for myself. And then at the end of the year, I will see what I feel like doing with that money. I might chuck it into the charity pot. I might go book shopping. I might split it. I always feel uncomfortable making money from this channel, but somebody pointed out to me that if I wasn't online, I would still be putting £1 aside per book and then spending that money on myself. And I think from years of putting everything into the charity pot, it feels a bit weird, but I've decided that what I'll do is I'll put £1 to one side in a separate saving account every time I finish a book next year, and then when I get to December, I'll decide what I'm going to do with it. So yeah, that's one slight change, and I was going to say I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay, but also I feel like I shouldn't be asking permission. I don't know, it's all very confusing. Money makes things difficult. Okay, number 5, I'm going to keep my TBR to below 50 books. At the time of filming this, we are, what are we on? At the end of November, I was on 39 books. I feel like that's a good size TBR. I like having a TBR. I don't want to go to a 0 TBR. I know some people do that and I think it's really awesome. I don't want to go to 0. I do like having a shelf of books to choose from. I am not someone who's comfortable having a huge TBR. I very much believe like whatever you're comfortable, you should do. It's your own book collection. It's up to nobody but you. But I don't like having a massive TBR. I think the biggest it's ever been was 150 books, and that felt like quite overwhelming. So if I can stick around 50, I think I said 50 to 80 maximum last year, and we'll probably sort of stick to that. That's where I would like to be. So I have some choice, but I don't feel overwhelmed. Okay, number 6 is no books older than 6 months on my TBR. So last year I did no books older than 12 months, which worked really well because it meant that I was picking up the stuff on my shelves and kind of doing it in a slightly systematic way. I dropped TBRs last year, which has been fantastic for my reading. I did do a summer TBR, which was fun. And I still select a stack of books at the start of each month as my kind of priority reads, but having set monthly TBRs just wasn't working for my reading anymore. And actually not having that pressure has been fantastic this year. But having some sort of system, my brain likes patterns and systems, and I am a completionist. So having that little bit of guidance of no books older than 12 months on my shelves really helped. And we are going to bring that down to 6 months for next year, mostly because I've been well within the 12 months this year and I've been really pleased with that, but I want to try and reduce it a little bit. I'm going to keep it at 6 months. The reason for that is I have become much more of a seasonal reader. The only exception to the 6 month rule is if I get any Christmas books, because Christmas books for me, and I know some people feel differently about it and that's fine, but Christmas books for me can only be read in December. So if I get any Christmas books, they will be allowed to like be on my TBR a bit longer. I'm just thinking that like if I get Christmas books for Christmas and I don't manage to read them this December, I don't want to have to unhaul them unread. So that will be the only exception, but I would like to keep it to a 6 month maximum on my shelves before it's read, because then I feel like books are coming in and turning around in a good time frame. I feel like if people gift me stuff, I'm getting to it reasonably quickly, and also my reading taste is changing all the time, and I want to try and obviously keep up with that and make sure stuff isn't lingering on my TBR too long and then I kind of go off the idea, if that makes sense. Okay, number 7 is to keep up with ARCs. So an ARC is an advanced reader copy. I am very, very lucky to work with a number of publishers, and also authors occasionally contact me directly to offer me advanced reader copies, and it's an absolute privilege, and I feel like with that comes a level of responsibility. And again, I'm not like passing comment on people who don't do this, but for me personally, I feel like if I'm lucky enough to get an advanced copy of a book, I need to read it before the publishing deadline, and if I enjoy it, obviously I can then be part of hyping the book up and helping to sell it when it comes out. So that's something I want to keep on top of. I've been absolutely fine with that this year, but it's something I just want to make sure I am kind of got one eye on going into next year. And then finally is to keep up with my reread challenge. So by the time you see this video, that video will have gone up. I have set myself 24 books to reread in 2024. I've literally, at the time of filming this, just filmed that video and put my shelves back together, which were absolutely decimated making that video. I'm really excited about that list of books and I want to keep up with it. My kind of vague aim in my head is to read at least 2 a month, because obviously that would make up 24, but I feel like there'll be certain months where I read more than that or possibly less than that. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to my shelves and reread some old favourites and just check that I still want to hold space for them on my shelves, because like I said, we are going to be downsizing. I'm probably going to have to do quite the cull of my books, and that will help kind of kickstart that process. And that's it. Those are my 8 intentions. So if you got to this point in the video, leave me, What kind of emoji? Leave me, don't know. Let's do a calendar emoji because we're coming towards the end of the year. Tell me, do you set intentions? Do you set goals? Do you set resolutions? How do you approach the end of one year and the beginning of another? Also, my brain loves that 2024 starts on a Monday. Like, that's very pleasing. I don't know why, but it just scratches an itch in my brain. So yeah, leave me a calendar emoji if you made it to this point in the video, just to let me know you got to the end. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.